So I know a lot of people are going to be angry about this, about the review. I do want to warn you all. I do pronounce the director's name wrong the whole entire time throughout this review. It is Damien Chazelle, and I am so sorry I said Chazelle, but I guess I was trying to make it more fancier than it is. Enjoy the annoying sound of my voice, and on top of that, the annoying uh, you know part of the review where I keep mispronouncing his name. So that being said, enjoy the review. If you don't like it, it's my opinion. Could suck, but it's whatever. So yep, here it is. And what is up? And welcome back to another movie review that you may or may not care about. Um, uh, but if you are here, welcome. And this is my review of Damien Chazelle's Babylon. And this has actually been the movie I have been waiting for all year. Now, I can't say that this is my most anticipated movie this year because, I go back and think about the other movies that I was excited about. I was really excited about the Batman. I have just recently gotten to Scream, and I was excited about the Scream 5 movie, and I'm excited to see Scream 6. But that's for a different topic for a different day. But this one, I would say, more along the lines of this was the movie that I was like, um, I guess for a lack of a better term, this is my cinema movie. Like this is cinema. But when I saw the trailer, and many of y'all know him. He's been in videos with me quite a bit. Israel. When he saw the trailer for this, he sent it to me. I believe I had saw it. I saw like the picture for the trailer, like the little thumbnail, but I didn't see the trailer. And he sent it to me, and he said, "This is gonna be like Wolf of Wall Street and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had like a kid." And without spoiling my review here, it 100% is. It's literally if the Wolf of Wall Street was set in the 1920s, and I mean it also incorporates Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Um, But I guess we'll go through just the general stuff. I'm going to hold off on a spoiler review. I'm going to do it later on in the video, but I'll do a general review of the movie without giving it away. But first, we'll go through the people that are in the movie. Obviously, we have Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and Diego Calva. I don't want to butcher his name, but those are the three main leads in the movie. Brad Pitt, I think, does a good job as a leading man. Margot Robbie, again, fantastic in a leading role. And honestly, Diego, he really, I hadn't seen him in any other movie until now, and honestly, I liked his character in the movie. So, um, I'll go a general overview of the movie. Basically, Brad Pitt is he stars as one of the 20s leading actors, Jack Conrad. He's like a big actor, big silent film actor, and he's known throughout Hollywood as being this big hot shot. It would be similar towards today of like a I want to say Robert Downey Jr., but we'll say like Robert Downey Jr. whenever like he was still doing Marvel. It still doesn't feel good. Like it's good to say Robert Downey Jr., but that's like the only thing I can think of at the top of my head right now. Um, I feel like there's like a better example. Uh, but I couldn't give it to you right now. But anyways, he's like the highest paid actor during this time. He's like a hot commodity. Basically, if your movie has him, there are going to be people to go watch it. Um, Margot stars as a young girl who's just made it to to L.A. She's from like a small town, and hasn't done any movies herself, but she wants to star in movies. She's very confident, and she's kind of just like a prodigy when it comes to like acting. And then Diego, when you meet him, he basically is doing like odd jobs for movie executives to try to move up into the movie world. And we see his basically Margot and Diego's roles like rise throughout the movie. And I guess I should tell you, Diego plays Manny Torres, and Margot plays Nellie Leroy in the movie. But that's as far. I really don't want to give a lot away. I will say the beginning of this movie, um, it is one of the most chaotic openings of a movie that I've ever seen in my life, and I wouldn't say it's bad for that. Not at all. I rather enjoyed the beginning of this movie, but it's a little jarring just with what all is going on. And when you go in to see it, you'll see. But I will say this: if you are a parent or anything like that, and are contemplating bringing your children to the movie, and you don't want them to see explicit content, do not bring them to this movie, because honestly, the first just literal 5 minutes of the movie, it shows of a bunch of stuff, and honestly, the first opening shot is it's pretty it's insane. I don't know how else to explain it, but anyway, moving on from that, I guess we'll get on to my review. Like my just spoiler free review. I rather enjoyed this movie. Again, I put it on a level of a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and if anyone knows me, and if you looked at my Tarantino movie reviews, I value Once Upon a Time in Hollywood very much, and it's actually my favorite movie of all time. I know it's rather recent. But that just shows a testament to how much I love that movie, and how much it's just like a love letter to Hollywood back in the day. And honestly, that's where you get the influence of Hollywood onto this movie, because it is honestly just it is Chazelle's love letter to Hollywood, and you get the aspect that there's a certain time in cinema that it just completely falls off for Chazelle, but I'd get into that into the spoiler review, but honestly, I rather enjoyed the movie. But with that being said, this movie is I think it's 3 hours and 9 minutes long. Hollywood is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I'm trying to compare it to other big long movies. I guess I could put The Irishman, and I believe The Irishman is 3 hours long as well. But I'm not exactly sure how long it is. I'm going to look it up real quick. 3 hours and 29 minutes. Honestly, I will say, I feel the runtime in The Irishman, and I definitely could feel it in this movie as well. Chazelle, he does a good job with the cuts to make it seem like it's going faster than it is, and you get that sense in a bunch of scenes. But there's a scene in this movie that I rather enjoyed, but it felt like it was going on forever, and it really slows down at a certain near the end of the second act of the movie, going into the third act, and it just slams on the brakes. Now, is this movie bad for that? Absolutely not, but I would take points off for it, so I do find that also takes points off, just, the way it feels, but I don't see a place where you could possibly take a scene out to that would make the narrative as tight as it is already. So I don't know where you would fix that. I'm not an expert in that at all, and I'm not going to act like I would do a better job than he did. But you definitely do fill the runtime in this movie. So I would give it lose points for that. And as well as there's a few I've seen I've seen La La Land by Chazelle, and I like the cinematography in it. I appreciate what he did with it. It's actually a pretty good movie technically, but I just I don't know. I never really clicked with La La Land, and I guess that's just because I'm not a big fan of musicals. But it is what it is. It's a good movie. I'm not going to dog on it for that. But anyways, this is I really enjoyed this movie more than I did La La Land, and the performances that are given are amazing. And I guess I need to go back to the point I was making, is that this movie does have a few artsy moments to it. Specifically at the end, there's a part with Margot Robbie, but I feel like for the character, it needed to be the way it was. And especially the ending of this movie, like the very end of this movie, it's very, like, I don't know, it's like abstract art, basically. And I understand why he did what he did, because I mean, again, like I said, this is a love letter to cinema, and it really hammers it home at the very end of the movie. But with that being said, just all the points that it would lose points for are those, and the rest of it I rather enjoyed. I love the humor in this movie. I love the acting in this movie. The lead roles are awesome. They're cast perfectly. There's a great cameo by Tobey Maguire in the movie it happens at the very end. You see him in the trailer, but if you are going to see this, he is not in the movie until the third act of the movie. He's only in there for about a total of like 6 or 7 minutes of screen time, just total. I mean, I'm not saying like the scene is rather long. I guess I'm probably selling it short here, but I felt like there was like 6 or 7 minutes of him on screen. So, and it's only that one scene that he's in. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, I guess I'll give my rating on a scale to 10, and I'll also do a scale of like to 5, because I do have a Letterboxd, and they only do it up to 5. So, my rating for this movie out of 10 is an 8.5 out of 10. Again, like I said, my perfect 10 out of 10 is Hollywood. I feel like the movie is spaced out correctly. The humor's great in it. The acting is great. And I didn't feel the runtime, like I said, in Hollywood. And also, another thing I award the movie with is if I can watch it multiple times in like a span of a year, or I mean, with Hollywood, I'm not even joking. I probably watched when I first got the 4K of it. When I finally got it in my hands, I probably watched that movie like 3 times a week for like 5 weeks straight. And you're probably thinking that's ridiculous because, you know, people do not like Hollywood for some odd reason. But I really love that film. I haven't watched it as much as I used to, but I still find myself going back to watching it. But yeah, this movie, I lose points to it as well for that fact. I don't see myself going back to this movie as much as I do for Hollywood. So it loses points there. It loses points for filling the runtime, and also just a little bit of the artsy stuff. So that's like the half a point that I took away from it. So that's an 8.5 out of 10, and it's a 4 out of 5 if you look at my Letterboxd. But that's the reason. So that is my spoiler-free review. If you want to stay tuned, I got the spoiler talk. I guess we'll have afterwards. You know, just talking about the film. And some of the scenes I liked. So, yeah, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed my review. I know it was rather long, a lot of long-winded points. Maybe you don't even care what I have to say about the movie, but Yeah. So we're going on to the spoiler talk, and I'll give you like 5 seconds. So. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, you still here? Well, if you are, I'm just going to tell you we're going to be talking about spoilers. So, and all right, we're good. Everyone gone? Great. Okay. So, opening part of this movie, with the elephant. I guess we'll address the elephant in the room, the elephant scene. I thought that was a good way to start the movie. It was showing um, how much humor is going to be in this movie. Uh, the the like poop and like all the other stuff in this movie. That's how I knew how, like, I guess I don't know if I want to say, like, I guess how filthy this movie could be, especially when it cuts to the party and the guys getting pissed on and everything like that, and just like what's going on at the party at the beginning. Um, it further proved the fact that, yeah, this movie was going to take what Wolf of Wall Street did and like turn it up to 11. So didn't expect this movie to be that. I don't want to say graphic. I mean, I sound like a like a person that just doesn't. You know what I'm talking about? Just uptight. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But going on to the spoiler talk, we'll go on to the scenes I was talking about. The scene where the mic check is happening for um, Nelly, when they're doing the first like sound picture with her at the college. The scene is funny. I laughed throughout the whole thing, but the very beginning of it, when they're like, saying, "Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. We need to be silent here." I just that started to drag for me, and I know that they had to have that to set up the joke of, everyone needs to shut up, or the take's getting ruined, and just the slow like frustration and build up, and the just blowing their lids off and stuff like that. Yeah, I just it deserved what it felt like it dragged. I don't know if you could cut it even more. I guess you could probably do those the cut or the scene the take that they were trying to do. If you cut it a little bit like quicker, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, that scene is the one that dragged for me, and also the scene where Nelly and Manny go to. Well, I guess Jack is also there after his crappy films made. They go to that rich party that they're trying to revive Nelly's career with. Um, that really was a scene that just drug on and on and on. I couldn't wait for it to end. The very end was good of the scene, but it just was too long for me. Um, and then I guess I will say, like, honestly, like, I mean, I hammered on it on the spoiler free review, but I thoroughly enjoyed, like, I loved seeing, like, someone just show how much, like, their love of movies. I said it multiple times. This is a love letter to cinema, love letter to, like, well, it did show the worst parts of LA back in the day, but like it just shows um, just how like magical cinema can be. Like the shots that they were doing for the silent films at the beginning, where Jack, well, I guess Brad Pitt's character is doing like the last scene. He's sobering up and doing the last scene for that movie that we're doing. It sounds ridiculous and pretentious, but I like almost like cried just thinking about it, because I just thought about how much movies mean to me, and it was great. And like the last scene where it shows like the history of movies, like, while I said it is a little bit artsy fartsy, and like the ridiculous like flashing lights and stuff like that, the unnecessary things like that. I just really liked seeing all these like influential movies like going from like the start of it to the end of it, and it just it this movie I really enjoyed it for that aspect. Um, but yeah, honestly, that really uh, was my review of this movie. I know it's not really that spoilery, but that I feel like I covered what I wanted to talk about. So, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to try to do a movie review soon on Glass Onion. Um, I never did the one for Knives Out, but I did watch it. I actually watched Glass Onion around Thanksgiving or whenever it came out originally. I was able to find a way to watch it, so I'll give my review on that since it's come out on Netflix now, and I'll probably just do a spoiler review for it. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and that has been my review for Babylon. So, yeah, thank you all, and stay safe, happy holidays, and and have a Merry Christmas. So, yeah, stay warm. If you're in North America, it's cold. I'm cold. I'm freezing. So, yeah, I'll see y'all.